Okay, great. I believe everyone can hear me clearly.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So we're welcome to the Love Stories by Relationship Fair. And Relationship Fair is a platform where we have a vision to help relationships and marriages succeed. And that's what we are zealous about. That's what we are all about. And we have testimonies so far from the various sessions we've been holding. We've had several sessions from 2 years ago we started, and we've engaged several facilitators from Nigeria, from Dominica, from Canada, from various geographical locations. So wherever you are, it's not a limitation at all. But we are very much particular at this period about people living on the island on Dominica, and we want to have a local impact, and that's why that's why we've reached out to facilitators who are on the island, who have a story of success, a story of beauty, a story of grace. And for those who are right now with us on Zoom, and if you're on YouTube, just put in the comment section where you're joining from. Let us know so that we can have an idea of the stretch of our impact. Where are you joining from? Just put in the comment section. Dominica. Okay, Oluwa Fifumi. Dominica, good. Okay. I can see. Let's have more comments, more comments. Wow. Zoom has now added a female voice. Okay, so we're having this amazing couple with us for Love Stories 2.0. Mr. Christon Williams and Mrs. Vanna Williams.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So I would like you to just introduce yourself. Who is Mr. Christon?
I am Christon Williams. I'm from Castle Comfort, also residing at Castle Comfort. I am a banker. I work in the securities and administrative departments. And this is my beautiful wife.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Vanna Williams. I am originally from Portersville. I'm now living in Castle Comfort, like my husband said. We are parents of a 2-year-old. He's actually not here because he would disrupt this. We have been married for 4 years, going to 5, and we're here invited by Silas to share our love story with the hopes that it has some impact on relationships and the people listening and their own love story.
Amazing. Wow, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I know love is a concept Yes, please put in the comment section. Welcome, welcome them. Make them feel very comfortable.
Thank you.
Okay, so love is a very popular concept. It's universal. As a matter of fact, February 14th every year, people celebrate something. Now, for some, it's love. For some, it looks like love. But then I know between the both of you, it is love.
That's for sure.
The very first, yes, exactly. Yes, I know that. The very first question that I'm going to ask you is, what was the first thing that attracted you to your spouse? And I think I want the lady to go first.
Okay. Um, well, with attraction, the first thing that you would notice is the person's physical. I liked to see my husband. I still like to see my husband. Um, especially the eyes. My husband has green eyes and everybody goes crazy over it. So, yes, the first thing that you are attracted to is the physical. But as you get to know the person, it becomes much deeper. You get to see who they are entirely as a whole. And, very early on, we were very open with each other on almost everything. So I think what started as just a physical attraction moved to more emotional and into a deeper connection. Yeah. Yeah. I think
Okay,
that's
wow,
it. I
nice.
don't know if you want to
Mr. Christian,
add
For
over to
me,
you.
it's more or less the same. I mean, she was my first attraction to her was her beauty. Um, and then when I got to know
You can
her,
say that again.
sorry.
I said you can say that again.
Yes, her beauty. And then when as the relationship progressed, we got and you get to know the entire person and who they are, what are their values, and what type of person that they are. Yeah, I think it makes your love grow even stronger.
Absolutely.
Mhm. Now, generally, it's a common saying that at the point you meet this person, they might be talking to you, but there's butterfly in your belly. Now, some persons is real, some persons is just a fiction, and some persons it started out as butterfly, but it became something that made them to have diarrhea.
Yeah.
It became troublesome. you know. So, but I want to ask Mr. Christian, for
Okay.
you, did you really have butterflies in your belly when you first met Vanna?
Yes, I did. I'm generally a shy person, so believe me, the butterflies they were flying all over the place.
Okay, but now as a as a young man at that time, what fears did you have? Were there some uncertainties? What were the fears you had it on your mind at the time?
I think as a genuinely shy person, your fear is always what would be the person's reaction? How would they respond to you if you make that move?
Mhm.
Of course, there's always fear of rejection, or
Yes.
despite the fact that maybe you know that there's an attraction from the other person, but I think you can't run away from the butterflies. So definitely be there. The fear of rejection for sure. I mean, nobody wants to make an approach to somebody and then they're not interested or you get turned down.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that. So, how do I put this now? Was that your first relationship?
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't. Okay, okay. So you had some experience. Now, the question will be the question will be to Vanna now.
Uh-huh.
When he spoke to you,
Uh-huh.
what you had your own butterflies, or you didn't have yours at the moment, and You're going to develop yours.
Well, the thing is, I always liked my husband, but I was not about to make the first move. I was waiting for him to do that. And he wasted years doing that
Mm-hmm.
and not doing anything. So yeah, of course there's
What?
butterflies, there's nervousness because this person is speaking to you. Are you saying the right thing? You hope you don't say something that's
Mm-hmm.
gonna turn them off or anything like that. So of course there was butterflies, but I mean we got along pretty easily and pretty quickly. So, you know, it
Mm-hmm.
became easy communication and spending time with each other. It became easy, like really, really quickly.
Yeah, okay, wow, that's interesting. I mean, not everybody has it that way, but I believe it's a it's a divine arrangement,
That's right.
and then yeah,
It was a
I believe it's a
mutual
divine
attraction,
arrangement.
so it made it
Now
easy.
understand. Well, it
And
was mutual. That's also true. But you took time though, Mr. Christian. You took time.
exactly. Because we've been knowing each other since we were 11, and he never said anything. He'd just say hi and hello, and that's it.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. So, since we're 11 now, how long have you been married?
We are married now for 4 years. We're going to be, well, celebrating 5 years next year.
Amazing, amazing. Wow, wow. And you dated for how long?
We got married like, well, we've been together like since 2014. So about 12 years now
Okay,
together collectively. Yeah.
okay, 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 okay. Now, y- at that early stage, though, what was something that would nearly make your relationship not to progress?
I don't think I don't want to sound crazy, but I don't think there was anything that um could have caused our relationship not to progress. Why? Because I think we met each other at the right time. We knew what we wanted out of the situation, and we were very intentional about communicating that, we were both looking for stability and we were both looking for our person, basically. So I don't think there was anything that I can think of right now that would have hindered our relationship from progressing. um yes, of course there are hiccups along the road, but we we were so committed to making this work and to making what you see here be one, that we worked through every little thing that would have come through, you
Mm-hmm,
know
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Yes, it's important to pray
mm-hmm.
as a couple. It's important to invite God in everything that you do. And if it's one thing that we do well, is that we always pray. We always pray. And we always give everything to God. Because if you don't do
Oh,
that, where are you in this world? So,
that's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. I love that response. You had mutual values. What you were looking for
right.
was similar. Was similar. Wow, that's very, very good. So, Mr. Christian, there's something I noticed among Caribbean men. I know it's not particular to even Dominica, and they take their time. Some never even want to get married. So, what I will ask you is this: what were the things that you discerned, you saw, and you said, okay, this is the right decision I'm making in getting married to Vanna? Many men are afraid to get married. I don't know why.
They're afraid of commitment. That's what it is. Um,
Okay.
when you move past the physical attraction and you get to know the person and you see the type of person that they are, I think when you meet that
Mhm,
right person, and for my wife, I saw how she was with her family. I'm big on family, so that is something that was important to me. I saw her caring nature.
Mhm.
I saw how she took care of her family. Um,
Mhm.
Even listening to when she would share her stories with me, when she was of how she grew up and what she had to do for her family. I think that in itself made me more attracted to her,
Mhm.
which of course led to us being here now. Also, when you're looking for a wife, you have to ensure that that person will be the person that will take care of you when you grow old. And
Mm. That's an important one. You
that
had a
that's
vision.
something, right. So that's something that you have to take into consideration. Will that person be able to take care of me and my our family that we have created? And of course, she can and she will.
Obviously, obviously, obviously. Okay,
So
so
you
now
you're
this
not
for
just
the both. Mhm. Mhm. Okay, go ahead.
you're not just looking for somebody to be with, but if you're looking for somebody to be your wife and your partner for the rest of your life, then you have to take your time and choose
Mhm.
that right person. And they have to possess the qualities of somebody who will take care of you and your family for the rest of your life
Mhm.
together.
Mhm. 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 Great, great, great. So you were looking at someone who is family oriented, and you saw that in her. You
Right.
saw a caring nature, and from the stories she told, her background, her growing up, you could tell this is someone I can share my future with.
That's right.
Amazing. And you were thinking of your own future too, that my future will be safe in her hands when I'm
That's
old.
right. Yes, yes.
Nice. Now, this question is for the both of you.
Mhm.
I know you had some time, dating, eventually got married. Now it's about 4 years, going to 5 years. What 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 does love mean to you now as compared to what it meant to you at that time? Usually, I mean, you're not with someone, you don't see everything, and
Right.
there are many things, even maybe assumptions, but now you've said I do, and every single day you keep saying I do, and you're just wondering, okay, do I still do? So what both of you will respond to this question. So
Okay.
now 4 years down the line, what
Mhm.
does love mean to you now as compared to what it was then?
Okay. I guess I'll take it first. In the beginning, it was, well, I would say before we were married, it was more, it was still the commitment, it was still trusting, um, it was still companionship, it was still partnership. But after you get married and you make that official commitment to each other, it means sacrifice, it means compromise, because you're no longer, just your own person, and he's no longer his own person. You all are now making a covenant in front of God to become one. And so, there are certain things that you will have to compromise on because of your partner. And so, if I had to give just a general answer to the question, I think love evolves, it changes after you're married. You become more, you gain a deeper connection, but it's also a lot of compromise because, when you're single, you make a decision and it impacts you only, and you're okay with it.
You want me to repeat it?
Hello?
Clean the kitchen now.
Hello, can you mute
Sorry.
yourself, please? Okay, good.
Sorry about that. So,
Yeah.
like I was saying, I think love changed for me because it meant commitment and it meant compromise after we got married. Yeah. How
Okay,
about
great.
you?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Mr. Christon.
I think what Vanna said, it's is what actually happened. The love grows. It changes not so much in terms of the physical between the two parties, but compromise is something that you would have to do on a daily basis. Of course, with when you have a child, it's even more because it comes at not just the compromise of your partner, but also of your child.
Yeah.
So every decision that you would have to make has to include everybody, the entire family.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you. And
Yeah.
I love the fact that you both mentioned compromise and you also mentioned sacrifice. And I
Yeah.
believe that's something that is so important if couples would succeed, because yeah, most times as a single person, you go out at your own time, you stay out at your own
Right.
time, you come in at your own time, you can go on the weekend, put up with a friend or anybody, and it's about you, and you're so dependent, but then you're so independent, I mean. But then you're getting married, you have to put a couple of things into consideration, and it's not just about you, but you have to think of how your decision, your action will affect your partner. So compromise, sacrifice, that's a very strong one if we're,
Yeah.
if you're going to succeed. There is now
Yeah,
one question I'm going to ask, as we move on to marriage now. So we're talking about relationship and before relationship. I mean,
Mhm.
what we're saying now still dates back to before marriage, but it's
Right.
more about being in the marriage relationship at this point in time. What are the questions couples really ask when they are dating, when they're in courtship? But then 4 years in marriage, you realize
Mhm.
that these are important things that should be asked. And maybe for you as a couple, you do not you've gotten it right. But then looking at some persons out there and the experience they have, you're like, these are the things you should have asked before you got married. So what are those kind of questions you believe you've seen that should be asked before marriage?
Okay. Well, I don't think there are specific questions per se, but I think there are main topics that people should speak about before considering marriage. One of them is money. What is your relationship with money? How do you see what your spending habits? Are you big on savings? Because you have to be with someone who complements you and not just in one way, but in all ways, or at least most ways. So money, I have seen money cause a rift between sisters and siblings. So it's easy for you and your partner to fall out over money. So that's one of the topics I think that people should discuss before. That is money. The next thing I would think of, I would say children. Children are a lot of work. It's a lot of compromise. It is, oh my God, so much. So if you are looking to get married, you need to discuss children. How many children do you want? What do you think your parenting style would be? It just all of it, because you don't want to, get married and then down the line you wanted two kids, but your partner wants no kids, and it becomes this big thing that you all cannot get over. So it would be important to discuss those topics before you make that commitment. Another thing would be sex. What are your limits? What is it that you like? What is it that your partner likes? It's a taboo subject for us in the Caribbean, but it's something that we should discuss before getting married. I'm not sure if you have anything else. and family, of course. How do you
Mhm.
view family as a unit? Like we said, a thing that both of us bonded on was that we are very big on family. He was very big on family, and so was I. I appreciated what made me most attracted to my husband is how he treated his mother and his sister. Like they were
Mm.
absolute queens. So I know that man was going to take care of me. Right. So
Mhm.
it's important to discuss family. So to sum it up in total, I would say money, children, sex, and family. Yeah.
Good, good, good. You want to add something to it, Mr. Christine?
No, not really.
Yeah.
No, I think she covered what matters most. It's important to have those types of conversation. Also, remember when we did before we got married, there's this program that the church has, which I think is very important for
Absolutely.
couples to take advantage of, called Engage Encounter. Um,
Okay.
it's a full day session where you
2 days?
2 days, was it
3.
3 days?
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to do it as a retreat, but right now it's done
Mm.
differently since COVID. But the concept is still the same, where you
Mhm.
that weekend your focus is solely on your partner, and you can say that it helps you to determine whether that person is your person and that person is for you, and if you should actually get married to that person based on the topics that you would have covered.
Mhm.
It's an intense weekend, but it forces you to discuss things that you probably would not otherwise discuss or not think to discuss. And the good thing about it, because we'll share here, we're Catholics, but the good thing about it is
Mhm.
that it's open to any denomination. So you don't have to be a Catholic
Mm.
to attend. So
I
it's
see.
one of the things that as a couple we think if you are considering marriage, if you are engaged, if you are just, or you're with someone and you want to know whether that's your person and you all should move forward, I would encourage
Mhm.
couples to take part in engaged encounter. It was very good for us as a couple, although we felt that we were ready, but after doing it, we knew for sure that we were going to move forward. Yeah.
Awesome, 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 awesome. I learned something because I know many times people believe they know exactly what they want,
Right.
and then submitting to those forums where you have more experienced people share with you their experiences, share
Right.
lessons and wisdom can be very valuable, very very valuable. And
And
sometimes you're listening to something and you just know that is it for that particular relationship. Just listening to that. Mm.
yeah, because the session is you have experienced people sharing their story, but
Mhm.
then it moves on to you and your partner almost being 100% honest with each other.
Right. And open.
Mm.
So it's a place of reflection. Um, After doing it, you sort of ask yourself the question whether you should move forward with that person, or if it is that maybe marriage is not for you or for the two of you together.
Right.
Maybe not for
Mhm.
you, but the two of you together would not probably last or will last, as you can see.
Mhm.
But
Mhm. Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
an
Mhm.
important step that you should take before marriage.
Yeah. I agree.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah,
Let you reflect
I happen.
um,
Mhm.
on not in an ordinary space, but specific to what the couple has going on, and you have to be very honest with your partner at that point.
Right. You're kind of forced to be.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm. 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 Mm. Now, as a counselor, right? I've been exposed to so many types of persons, having several kinds of relationship, but there's something that I've seen so common, emotionally dysfunctional couple, where you see that constant unhealthy pattern in their relationship dynamics. So you see fightings, you see arguments, you see abuse, you see all kinds of things, and you're wondering how do people actually survive in this relationship. And sometimes it's even, in fact, sometimes it's difficult to intervene because you're the third party. You might end
Yes.
up getting your blows too. Yeah. So, but now, what I want to ask, because I'm sure you would have seen someone, had a friend, had seen some of these things,
Mhm.
emotionally dis, dysfunction relationship. What are the warning signs that individuals, singles, those who are having butterflies in their bellies now, what are the warning signs? Because I think there's a way butterflies affect your vision. I don't know the connection, but it's like butterflies might blow your vision, and you're not able to see well and judge or discern rightly. But
Mhm.
what are the warning signs that singles can see and notice in a relationship that will eventually be dysfunctional down the line?
No, no.
That's, that's a value.
Okay.
I think one of if you and your partner are constantly arguing, and if it reaches a point where it becomes physical, then that is is a no. That for me is a red sign. It's a red flag. You marriage will not change that.
Right.
Um, if you're constantly arguing, which means there is not so much compromise taking place. Marriage where you have to actually compromise and sacrifice, it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
So if you're constantly
Hmm.
arguing, then that's a sign. And if there's not much compromise and sacrifice even before you're married, then it's not going to change. It might even get worse.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh,
Okay. Talk to me, Vanna.
um, I would have to agree. I think not the constant arguing also is a contributor to poor communication because people talk all the time, but are they listening? And that's something that we I would like to say that we kind of have mastered as a couple. Like my husband is speaking, I listen. I'm speaking, he listens. And if you are constantly arguing, and especially when it comes to a point where it's physical, and a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people make this mistake going into a marriage with all of these issues, not addressing them and thinking that marriage is going to
Hmm.
magically fix it. It's not going to do that. If anything,
Hmm.
marriage amplifies it because right now you feel that this person has made a commitment to you and they're not holding up on their
Hmm.
end of the bargain. So
Hmm.
if you are already arguing and to a point where you cannot come to a compromise or an agreement, I don't think after marriage it will get any better. And it gets even worse when you bring a child into that equation. Children do not deserve
Hmm.
that. They didn't ask to be born. So I think it's important to address all of the issues that you have before you decide to take that step. It's not going to be easy. It may mean opening wounds that you felt that you've already moved past or healed from, but it's important to address them and address them
Hmm.
as a whole before you decide, let's make this commitment, you know? Yeah.
You mentioned it might involve opening wounds that you think you've healed from,
Yep.
but then in this relationship, you might need to open them up and discuss about it.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
You know, I once had somewhere that sometimes some problems are solved, but they are not resolved.
That's
Mm.
right.
You know,
Compromise.
so you think you think that has been dealt with, but
Well,
there are still.
for you to determine that it has been dealt with, you have to see a continuous change in the entire situation. The change cannot be a one-off instance where in that moment you don't want to
Mm,
argue about that anymore, so you just fix it right now. But the next time it happens, you go back to the same thing that caused the issue to begin with.
mhm,
So
mhm.
for you to find some resolution, the resolution has to be consistent. Yeah.
Nice, 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 powerful. I love that. Now, a couple of singles are connected now, and they want to know because the last session we had, they said, "Oh, more of marriage stuff, and all that." So
Okay.
let's talk about singles.
Yeah,
How
please.
can singles prepare emotionally and psychologically for marriage?
Oh boy. Okay. You have to know what you want. You have to know what you want out of a partner. Um, it can't be that you just met somebody and you just think that automatically they're going to, and you have to communicate what you expect as well. I was very, very,
Mhm,
very, very strong on what it is that I wanted, and I communicated that to my husband from the moment that we met. If you were not going to be serious, I am not interested. That's it.
mm,
So when you are single and you're looking for your person, and you have to also pray. I was at a point where I wanted my person, and I didn't feel that I was getting my person. So I prayed and asked God to send me my husband, send me that person
mm,
that I've been looking for. But you have to be careful what you pray for, because God is going to give it to you. The Bible tells you that you
mm,
ask for whatever you ask for with faith, and God will provide, right? So if
mhm,
you're going to ask God for a husband, you have to be prepared for a husband. And that means you also have to work on yourself. You have to
mm,
be willing to compromise. You have to be willing to make the sacrifices, because it means that you are no longer one, but two, becoming one. So and give yourself grace. Everything
mm,
happens in its own timing. Like we always say, God's timing is perfect. So everything happens when it's supposed to. And not everybody's meant to be married, and that's okay too. So not everybody's meant to be in a relationship, and that's okay too.
mm, mm. No, I love something you said right there before Mr. Christie gives a comment. You
Mhm.
said as you ask God in prayer, you must be prepared for what you are asking for.
Yep.
I love that because you can be praying for something and
Mhm.
you're just praying for it because, okay, you are of age.
Yeah.
Persons are reminding you of something, or your friends are
Right.
married and all that. But really, you are not at that point psychologically, emotionally,
Right.
financially. You are really not preparing. So
Right.
that point you made there, I really love it. As you're asking God for that thing, He will give it to you as you ask in faith. But make sure you're preparing for what you're asking Him
For
for.
what you're asking for. Yep. Because you don't want to
Thank
regret
you.
your ask after. Because rest assured, you may not get it
Mhm.
today, you may not get it next week or next year, but God will provide, and He will give you what you ask for, because you asked for in faith, right?
Mhm, 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 mhm. Yeah. So, Mr. Christian, as a man, a young man, how do you prepare emotionally, psychologically for marriage?
Um, like my wife was saying, when you in courtship with someone, you you have to set the expectation from the beginning.
Right.
You have to know what you want from your partner, what it is that you want to work towards.
Yeah.
And if it is that the both of you want to get married, to have a family, to have a home, a car, something as simple as a car, or grand as your home, or even a career together, it's important that you have that conversation in courtship. Um, while you getting to know the person, you set your expectations, and when you set the expectation, it is something that you can work towards. Um, if it is mutual, it will progress relatively fast, or it will take some time, or it will something that you all can build together. I think that when you do that, you also help your love grow to what it will be, or what it can be when you become married.
Mm.
Mm,
Absolutely, I agree.
okay. Okay, let me check the comment section. It's like there's some questions. So you can send your questions if you have questions. Okay, I'm not seeing any question for now. Okay. Now, I know you have mentioned this in a way, but I would love to ask
Mhm.
again in a different way. So what is that relationship rule that constantly saves marriages? Well, the question says one, but I don't know if it's one. So,
But
what is that relationship rule that constantly saves marriages? You abide by this principle,
Mhm.
your marriage would survive.
For me, it's communication. To always communicate, even when it's uncomfortable things, even when it's things that you necessarily maybe don't even want to speak about, but to always make sure that you are communicating and you are listening, because to bottle things in doesn't help the situation. Nobody's a magician, nobody's a mind reader.
Mm,
Your partner cannot just know automatically what is the situation, what is the depth of the situation. So it's important to communicate in marriage, in friendships, in relationships in general, whatever it is, to communicate and to make sure that you get your point across clearly. The good thing about my husband and I is that we communicate very well. He will let me know of anything that is, not right with us, and I pride myself on doing the same. So I think that's an important thing to do. Communication. Yeah.
yeah, communication is key. You have to be able to communicate your feelings. Um, it, and communication doesn't have to be allowed, or it doesn't have to invite anybody, or
Right.
it doesn't have to be vulgar. Um, Communication should come from a place of love and peace. It's important that you maintain that.
mm,
Um, Also, trust is another thing. You have to trust your partner. If you're
mm,
unable to trust somebody even before you're married, then I don't think it's wise that you should get married.
mm, mm,
Because
mm,
marriage doesn't
Problems.
make the issue disappear, or the lack of trust disappear. It's important that you're able to trust the person before you make that step.
mm, Nice, nice. Now, some person might be wondering, why a conversation like this? What's the point? Let people go ahead and do what they have to do and all that. But the truth is that the way people behave, the way society is just the result of the family they came out from.
Right.
Now, the dynamics within that family, I mean, looking at you, I don't know the I don't know how your growing up looked like as a child, but I'm looking at you and I'm seeing love. You understand? It feels like you've tasted love. You know, because when just knowing what you were looking out for in each other, that that knowledge is always based on something you have tasted.
Before.
If you've not seen it, you
Okay.
cannot really want it. When you see, when you even see it, you won't recognize it because you've not experienced it.
Right.
And that's why some persons can stay in an abusive relationship because they've seen abuse tolerated, they've
Right.
seen abuse endured. So for them, that's a possibility, that's a normal, you
Right.
know. But someone who has seen love, who has experienced love, and I'm just saying this so everyone can know that this is why we are doing this. So you know exactly how to raise the bar for your standards, and you know
Absolutely.
what to look out for. The individuals now they are waiting for love. So
Mhm.
how do you advise them? How should they wait for love? They've not seen their Christian, they've not seen their Vanna, but they are hoping that one day, wow, I'm going to have this kind of testimony. So while they are waiting for love, what
Mhm.
should they do?
Work on yourself, because at least when that time comes, or if that time comes, you may not automatically know, but when it comes, at least you would have been ready. If you have, issues that you personally that you think you need to work on, do that. Like let's just use let's say weight for as a topic. If you feel that you are overweight, you have to do something about it, right? You can't say, well, um, my partner or that I'm not getting a person because I'm overweight. If you feel that's the reason why you're not getting the kind of person that you want or the kind of person that you want to attract, then you work on it, right? So that goes for everything in life. While you're waiting, work on it. You want a better job, improve on your skills, do trainings, do courses. So it applies across the board. So while you're waiting for your person, make sure that all wounds that you have are that are unhealed, that you try your best to heal them. While it may mean that sometimes some of the wounds that you have that are open will be healed by your partner, but it's important to not bring a damaged person into a relationship with somebody. It's not fair to them, So it's important to work on yourself while you wait. So at least when that time comes, or if it doesn't come at all, you're at your best self, that you're presenting the best version of yourself to that person. Yeah.
Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah, so
I
be
love
patient
that.
with yourself.
Mm.
Mhm.
Be patient with yourself.
Yeah,
Be healed, be whole while
yeah, of
you're waiting.
All right.
course.
Mhm. I think Mr. Christian wants to say something to a young man that is waiting for love.
Wait, what?
Sorry.
Sorry, we didn't hear.
Yeah. You see, I said I think Mr. Christian wants to say something to a young man waiting for love.
Yes, be patient. Yes, be patient. You have to, you don't rush into things. Be patient, be confident about yourself. Like my wife said,
Mhm,
if you know that there are things you're not happy about yourself, you have to work on it. Um, you have to also present yourself as someone who is desirable.
Okay,
Um,
that's right.
you
mhm,
you first have to work on yourself, and then when you work on yourself and you've reached to that point where you can accept somebody else, it makes it a bit easier for you to progress together and probably lead to marriage if that's the goal that you guys set for yourself.
Yeah,
mhm.
agreed.
I see. I see. Very important. There's a question in the comment section there by
Sure.
King. It
Hmm.
says, how do you balance your purpose and your marriage?
Well, like we said earlier in the session, marriage is compromise, right? So your individual purpose has to tie into the general purpose of you as a couple and as a family. So, let's say you want to pursue higher education. You want to eventually get your, like, okay, I'll use myself as an example. When I met my husband, I was just about to start school. Then a disaster happened, and it was, oh my God, so many things. But my husband as well wanted to start school. We made the decision collectively to, since I had already started, my husband decided that it was easier for me to let me finish, and then he would start up and, you know, finish himself. So it has to it has to be a collective approach, if you want to put it that way. You have to make the sacrifices. If you It has to be something that your partner can see that would add value to the two of you as a unit. So you can't just want to do it because you want to do it. Marriage is compromise. It's sacrifice.
Mhm,
So, and what
mhm,
happens too when you get married is that you realize that what things that you really saw that you wanted, uh, you really don't want it anymore. It becomes
mm,
nothing, and you just move on to more purpose-driven things. Things that will add
mm,
value to your life and to you as a person and to you and your partner as well. Everything you do has to be, and you it's difficult, but everything that you do has to add some sort of value to the two of you as a unit. You can't make a decision outside of
mhm,
your partner. It's if you feel that you just want to do whatever you want whenever you want, I don't think marriage is for you. You probably should just or
mm,
if your partner is okay with that kind of thing, that's fine. But for us, we did not
mhm,
want that. So we knew that whatever decision either one of us made had to add value to the unit and not just one.
mhm, mhm,
Yeah.
mhm, mhm.
So
Very
I hope that
important. Very
answers.
important. So,
Mhm.
mhm.
I hope that answers the question
Well,
for the
King
individual.
King is there. He can. Yes, I hope also. If you have a if you sense a purpose, for example, you want to make an impact in the banking sector, and you want to rise through the ranks and the ladder, and that requires some form of training, professional development, and all that. Your partner must understand that. You must communicate
Of course.
that, and you must be on the same page. So when you are in the board meetings, when you have to travel for certain things, your partner knows that this is we spoke about this, and the children can come in the picture, and we know how we actually manage those roles and all that. So I think that's a very good one. Someone is asking, okay, do you believe that God has a specific or special person for everyone? Mm, does Mr. Christie want to respond to that? Does God have a specific person or a special person for everyone?
Uh, I think he does. Um, if you go back to Adam and Eve, remember he created Eve specifically for Adam.
Mhm,
So I believe that you have a special person out there for you, which is where the patience comes into play. You have to be patient.
mhm,
Of
mhm,
course, you have to know what you want from that person. You have to set that expectation when you meet that person. And it's always good to communicate what your expectations are from the beginning. I think this is what helps our relationship as well, because we communicated from the beginning what we wanted
Right.
from each other.
Yeah.
So yes,
mhm, mhm,
God has created somebody for you,
Just be
It's
patient.
just be patient and he will give you that person.
Right. Well,
Okay, you want to add a little light to that, Vanna?
um, I agree with my husband. I think you have your person. If God has a person for you, you will get that person. But you just have to be patient. In the
Mm-hmm,
meantime, work on yourself and
mm-hmm,
give it to God. And if it is meant to be,
mm-hmm,
it will happen. And it will happen with time.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think also something that is very common these days is that people just, because I mean there are so many varieties out there. You can be on Instagram, you can be on Facebook, on Twitter, and all that. So persons do that also with relationship. They have someone in St. Paul, they have someone they are seeing in St. Patrick, they have someone they have someone in Roseau, and all that. But people are not patient to ask God, what is that personality, that those traits that would help me fulfill your purpose for my life. And eventually, if we're patient, we'll meet persons with that trait. And I mean, it's possible someone says no to you. One
Yeah.
person's
But
no does not mean that
it's no forever.
that's
Yeah.
exactly,
The,
exactly.
the
So
butterflies.
so yeah, mm, yeah. So it's important people understand that there's always a person, their personality traits, their characteristics that will help you fulfill God's purpose for your life. And these are things you look out for. And you can see those things in people. And if it happens that the person you see it in is not interested, it's not seeing it that way, and they're even saying no, then of course you know that it's not this person.
Right.
There's someone else God has
There's
prepared
someone
for
else
me.
somewhere.
Yes, very important. So um someone is asking that question again.
Sure.
Excuse me.
Hi.
Good night.
Okay, just a second. Please, can someone from the admin respond to the other questions? Just give me.
What are the questions? The question I see is silent treatment abuse. Is it wrong to be silent for some time if you are not ready to talk yet? Um, I wouldn't say it's abuse, but it cannot be the thing of the day or how you operate in a relationship. Um, you like we say, you have to be big on communication. You can't just decide that you if you feel that you're at a point where you're really angry and you're going to most probably say things that you will regret, then you should be silent, ask for some time, and then but you should always address the issue. You should always talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope that answers the question. Let me see if there's any more. Does you and your partner need to have some vision or earthly purpose? If no, how do you get them to support you if it doesn't align with theirs? So, I think we touched on that in the last question. So, like I said, marriage is a compromise, not just marriage relationships, because you have to start the compromise while you are boyfriend and girlfriend, not when you become married. If the intention is to become married, then you should start the compromise and the sacrifices even before that. But how do you say it? If like I said earlier, it has to be a communication and has to be a shared vision. So you have to be able to communicate to your partner what this does for you as an individual and how improving you as an individual then improves the unit as a whole, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if there's any
I
more.
can see. Wow. Wow. I know we have 1 hour for you, and it's
Yes,
six
so
o'clock
we'll take
already
one last
in
question.
Atlantic Standard Time.
We'll take one last question. How do you intentionally maintain connection and keep the spark alive in your marriage while balancing the demands of work, parenting, and everyday life? Okay, so
Hmm.
for us, what we've done, one, now I have a little person, so you have to be comfortable with changing, with the change in your marriage after you have children. After you, that it will happen.
Mhm.
It's nothing that you can do about this. You you have a child and everything that you do centers around that person, and then you can think about yourself, but you have to also be intentional about keeping your marriage alive. You can't lose yourself so much into work and into being a mom or being a dad that you forget that you have a partner. So for us, what we've done is we try to go on dates as much as possible. My sister, thank God for her, and thank God for my babysitter. Will are willing to hold my son, for an hour or two, so that we can get some time to each other. We always plan our vacations or vacation away from work. Like
Same time.
for the same time, so um, that we can have that time to spend with each other. So that means it may mean that you have to do dates during the day, but that's what it is. Um, what else would you say?
That's
Yeah,
that basically covers it.
yeah.
You have to make
You
time
have to make
for
time
your partner.
for each other. Yeah,
Yeah, you have to
make
make time for your partner. You have to sacrifice some of your personal time as well.
yeah,
But you can't get too consumed with work and the other things of the world and not take care of the person that you made a commitment to.
right.
It's important that you make sure you spend some time with that person.
And it doesn't have to be, big fancy dates, going to a Fort Young or to something. Just going on the bayfront and have some ice cream and sit down and talk to each other. Go to the mall, go take an afternoon walk. What we do sometimes is we go exercising together. So we go walking together. Sometimes we go alone or sometimes we go with the baby. Um, you know, just simple little things. Don't forget your partner in everything that you do. So, sometimes I'll go
Hmm.
somewhere and I'll see something that he would like, I would just buy it. He would do the same. He would go online and see something, I think she'll like this, he'll get it. Just take care of the person that you made a commitment to, because you don't want to forget
Mhm.
the person in everything that life has going on, you know.
Mhm. Mhm. Wow, this is amazing. This is amazing. I want to believe everyone that asked the questions, they were able to
I
get the
hope that answered the
responses.
question.
Yeah, I think it did. I think it did. But the person can respond. Nakia Francis, please respond. Also, Ufoma and Samuel Michaels, you can respond. This is very important, and we're not done. We'll have more of this, because I believe we need to make people understand that yes, it's very possible to find true love. Yes, there are lies, just like we have fake currencies. That does not mean we don't have true currencies. So it's important we know, and it's worth waiting for. It's worth fighting for. It's worth
Right,
defending, and this is the normal environment to grow, to raise children, to pursue your career. Love, true love. And this is love stories. I want to encourage everyone out there. Don't add to the trauma of people.
right,
If anything, be a factor that heals people, that contribute to be therapeutic. Let talking with you be some form of therapy, in which people just experience that solace. with you. And I believe once you focus on yourself, once you fix yourself, once you build yourself, it will be easy to find someone who is like you. And I know that we'll make Dominica a better place one day at a time. We'll reduce the people in the mental institution due to nervous breakdown from failed relationships, and will help children also who are going through all kinds of trauma because of inheriting that which their parents have experienced, and we are breaking those causes, we are breaking those dysfunctional
Right.
cycles. And I know that God will
Okay.
help us one person at a time. Okay, so again, I want to thank you. I'm sure it wasn't bad. What would you say?
Well, I made a vow to do things that scare me. I'm not big on public speaking, so at least it's one down, and we'll get to the rest for the rest of the year.
Good, 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 good. Right. So, how do you see that, Mr. Christie?
Yeah, I'm not good at public speaking either. So it it took a toll on my wife, especially to come
Oh
and do this.
boy.
But
An overthinker, so
she she thinks about it all the time. But I mean, you sometimes you have to come out of your comfort zone
yeah,
and do
That's
things and
right.
try different things. That's how you grow. That's how you evolve.
yep,
Mm-hmm.
Um, and for
Good,
us,
good, good,
it's a form of evolving
yeah.
and growing as a
good,
family.
good. Thank you. Thank you so much. We
All
really
right. So
appreciate
thank
you
you,
both,
Silas,
Mr.
for the
Christie.
invitation. I hope that we gave people some sort of hope for for their relationships, or for the relationship that they're getting prepared for. I'm on Instagram, so if you have any questions, you can always send me a DM, and I'll try my best to respond. My husband is also on Instagram. My Instagram is Van What Will, so you can
Good.
look for me, and if you have any questions, feel free to send it there. Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Excellent. Excellent.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Guys, thank you for joining. God bless you. Connect with us at Relationship Fair. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're also on YouTube. And also I'm Silas Abiodun. That's my personal page
Okay.
on YouTube as well, on Instagram and on Facebook. Have a great week, everyone, and cheers to a life of love, and celebrate love, enjoy love, blossom
Thank
in
you.
love,
Thank you.
thrive in love. And I can tell you that you will be having the best atmosphere to fulfill purpose.
That's
Okay.
right. Yep.
Thank you
Okay.
again.
Thank you, everybody.
All right,
All
bye.
right.
Have a great week. Yeah. Bye.
And share this one.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.